Bliss, welcome to another weekly reading. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. Today is another beautiful Sunday where we are connecting to spirit to get the spiritual messages, energy updates, astrology influences of this week, 12/15 to 12/22. The last few weeks of the year, the last couple of weeks of the decade. Super powerful energy, lots to talk about. Thank you so much for joining me. And if this is your first time joining a weekly reading, welcome. And thank you so much for tapping in with us today. This is where we really connect to spirit. And we've created a beautiful web of light community here on my YouTube channel where we really connect to the divine energy of our being and of our intuition as we receive it every day in these connections that we make with ourselves and with others. So I really love this community. I really love that we've created it. It's been over a year now we've been doing these readings, and I say we because all of you are involved in these readings. You all bring your own unique energetic signature, your unique energetic frequency to these readings, and your desire to understand what is going on in the spirit realm and how that affects us here in the physical also promotes more of those messages coming forth. And when we ask, we receive. So thank you for being a part of the asking for these messages, and thank you for showing up and sending your love and light to source in this conscious connection to it. I'm super excited to dive into the energy of this week, but I always like to start with a little review of last week's energy. So the first thing I'll do is talk about the cards of last week, and then we'll get right into this new week experience. In the meantime, feel free to let me know how you're doing today. Tell me where you're tuning in from. If you're a regular, we probably know where you're tuning in from, so no worries there. But tell me how you're doing, and let me know how the 12/12 portal has been affecting you, how the full moon in Gemini last week is affecting you. And let's just start that beautiful conscious discussion as we dive into the review of last week real quick. So last week's energy, we had the beginning of the week card, A Father's Love, really encouraging us to focus on the masculine energy of love within us, the action of love, and also to reflect on our own father's love, our relationship with our fathers, and really feeling into what's needed there to really create a full spectrum of love and connection and divinity and appreciation for that relationship, no matter how it has unfolded in your life. When we appreciate all aspects of everything in our life, we bring more reasons to be grateful into our life as well. So that's a really powerful card to tap into. Then the middle of the week card was Integrity, really encouraging us and inviting us to follow through with what we say we're going to do the right thing even when no one's looking, and to feel completely confident in the integritousness of our spirit, to feel into that positive, self-affirming energy when we do the things we say we're going to do, and when we do the right thing, and when we really honor our own moral compass and follow through with that and implement it and embody it. And then the end of the week card, which covers this weekend as well, was the friendship card. And that really was powerful, really encouraging us to surround ourselves with people who we feel aligned with and create new friendships, and also let go of friendships that don't feel like they're serving us, especially before we enter the new year. We don't want to take any of that energy into a new year. So really allowing us to reflect on that as well. And then for the moon card, the full moon that was on, I believe it was Thursday. Yes, it was Thursday. It's actually Wednesday night at midnight, but Thursday. Technically, we had that 12/12 activation, right? The 12/12 on Thursday, 12/12 a.m. for the full moon in Gemini. And so the card for that was Seven of Water, which was really tapping into this etheric, high vibrational awareness of our emotions and our flowing with spirit, flowing into spiritual connection, and flowing into our awareness of emotions and how that all connects. Really, really powerful reading last week. So before I get into the spirit messages of this week, these are all messages that I gather and take notes of throughout the events that I host, do it during the week, and also throughout downloads and meditations that I do every day, that I get messages from spirit about the energy that we have to expect this week. So before I do that, I want to just tap in and see who's all joining us. We've got 12 on the live right now, which is great. Great number. Oh, now we have 13. Kiwi's here. Hola. Holla, beautiful. Love it. Becky is here. Hi, Rissa. I caught your live. Yay. I usually work Sundays. Oh, so good that you're here, Becky. And congratulations on the day off. Linda is here. Hello, Rissa. Happy to connect with this Web of Light community. Thank you for all your spot on messages. Much love. Thank you, Linda. Good to see you. Growth is where it starts, says hello family, hello to you. Linda says, I replayed last week's energy reading every day, so incredibly spot on. Thank you for the guidance. It made the week much more manageable when the heavy hitting hit. Yes, absolutely, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. Phil says, many blessings to all and much love for you, Rissa. Thank you, Phil. Much love to you as well. Let go my ego. I love that name. Hello, lovely. Layla here. Hey, Layla. I love your YouTube name. It's so cute. Phil says Chiron is going direct today. Yes, yes, super, super important. And I will talk about that as well. Thank you for letting me know because I think I missed that message, but I did remember reading about it a couple weeks ago. So I'll talk about that because I know all about that as well. But I put a little note so I won't forget. So thank you so much, Phil, for that. And Natasha is here. Hi, Rissa. I'm obsessed with your hair. Miss you. Oh, thanks. I miss you too, Natasha. And thanks for the compliment on my hair. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. I really feel like I lost all my colors, but I also kind of really like the natural vibe. So I'm going through an aesthetic transformation. And Kelly's here. Hi, everybody. Hello, Kelly. Good to see you. Now we've got 16 joining live. Wonderful. Thank you for all of you that just joined and welcome. Okay, so we're going to start with the weekly reading updates, the spirit message of this week. This is 12:15 to 12:22 that we're going to cover. So the first spirit message I got is that connection to spirit is open and available for us right now. It's very, very potent. And just with a little bit of mindfulness, just with a little bit of deep breath, a little bit of connectedness, we start to feel spirit even more than we ever have felt this year. There's a lot of energy available to us. So really allowing ourselves to open up and receive that by releasing any doubt, judgments, fear around connecting to spirit, and really imagining our heart space opening up to receive the light of spiritual connection. And when we do that, we end up getting more downloads, we get more visions, we get more empathic awareness, we get even sometimes a little bit of channeling energy, if you guys have ever felt that before, kind of this feeling of spirit consuming us. And it's really powerful. And I was in meditation yesterday after my channel and chill, and I instantly, so I was after my channel and chill like the day after, so I wasn't in my event, but I was meditating, it was yesterday, and I got this beautiful, I wonder if I have it. I got this beautiful bag of Guatemalan cacao yesterday. It smells so good. It's Guatemalan cacao tea. And so I got that and I was like holding the tea and I was meditating alone and I just felt spirit come over me and I started channeling for myself, which I actually usually never do. I usually only channel for other people when people ask questions. I have channeled for a couple of small groups of people, but it's rare that I channel for myself, especially vocally. Usually if I'm channeling for myself, it's just written or I just get the download. But I really started channeling spirit vocally and it was really intense. And I just thought it was interesting how available and open it was, the connection, and how quick it happened. And I've also talked to a few other people this week that have started to feel into some channeling abilities that they're gaining right now as well. And I think a lot of our channels are opening up, especially from that portal and especially from the full moon and just the end of the year and all of the culmination of wisdom and activation we've had this year. And moving into 2020, we're really activating a lot of supernatural gifts. And so that spiritual connection is open available to us. And so I encourage you to be specific on how you want your spiritual or intuitive gifts to manifest. How do you want to receive connection from spirit? Do you want to channel? Do you want to be great at card reading? Do you want to feel signs and synchronicities and be feeling like you're in a portal all the time of just like this amazing vortex of energy that you're in? Do you want to feel it in your body and your heart? And when you're specific about it, Spirit will respond in specific ways to what you ask for. So that's really available to us, and it's really potent right now. So I encourage you to play with that. And when we play with it, we release a lot of the seriousness, a lot of the a lot of the work aspect of it, and we just enjoy the fun and curiosity and excitement of it. And that's a really, really great energy to have. Phil says, I definitely feel strongly with Chiron, no ankle, no eye. He said, I have had more auditory channels opening up too. Yeah, auditory channels, being able to hear energy and spirit more frequently. Absolutely. So I really encourage you all to reflect on how you want to receive those messages and really allow yourself to open up to it, and it will absolutely occur. This goes into that heart opening. This is the next spirit message, heart opening, and really blind faith. This has been something that has come up for me in a lot of ways, and for a lot of people that I work with as well. Having this blind faith, this divine trust, this connection to knowing for sure that things are going to work out for you always, because they always do, and not questioning spirit, not questioning your intuition, really releasing to blindly and faithfully flow with it. And when we do that, our heart opens up and our heart activates more, because we end up living more in our heart when we do that, instead of always thinking about what logic we need to support a certain energy, or what intellect we need to organize or structure a certain energy. And instead we go into the heart space, and then we just flow with it. We open up and we create more with that, which is really beautiful. And I really encourage us to keep that heart opening consistent. Meditate on your heart space. Imagine your heart opening up more. Imagining your intuition flowing from the heart, and you also receiving information through the heart from source. And when we do that, we really bring forth more of that blind faith and more of the capability we have in surrendering to blind faith, because we really need that right now going into the new year. We're stepping into something completely unknown. We're stepping into a new year, a new decade. We are letting go of things that we are comfortable with, that are no longer serving us. And all of that incorporates a sense of mystery, a sense of just uncertainty even. And we don't want to get caught up in the uncertainty. We don't want to get caught up in the confusion or the fear or the doubt of certain things. We want to just trust fully. And blind faith allows us to do that, because oftentimes we have a lot of faith and trust in things that we can see, that we observe in a more physical way. But blind faith is about really trusting in things that you can't see, trusting in the unseen world, trusting in source energy, trusting in love, trusting in compassion and abundance that might not be here in the physical yet, but you know is coming because you've asked for it and you've seen it in the spiritual, and you can feel it in the spiritual, in that meditation and that visualization you do. And that's really what brings us into more connection with spirit, because we're choosing to use a different set of eyes. We're choosing to use a different set of skills, a set of senses, the spiritual senses, the paranormal senses, the psychic senses. Oh, my music stopped. Hold on, guys. I was really liking that vibe. Oh well, it'll start again. So that's really what we're talking about here, is activating a new set of senses, and that is such a powerful experience. And so we really want to enjoy that energy. So the next spirit message is all about gratitude. And this goes right into that. Such a good segue is really being grateful for what we know we had faith in and trust in, that we didn't see maybe months ago, but now we see physically because we've manifested it. Feeling grateful for what we do have here in this world and in this life versus what we don't have. Feeling completely in harmony and in tune with our belief of self, our belief in spirit, our belief in the unknown becoming a beautiful experience. And I'm sorry, I have this itch. It's like an itch on my nose. This really amazing experience that we have to dive into with gratitude. And we can be grateful for so many things. And a lot of times when we go through hard times or contrasts or challenges, we get into this place of not seeing what we actually have that is beautiful, because we're so focused on the contrast, we're so focused on the challenge. So I encourage you to really, if you're going through any challenge, or if you have any kind of contrast happening in your life, whether it's internally or externally, to just pay attention to what you do have, what you are grateful for. Even as simple as the ability to breathe, to live, to breathe, to be here, to be aware, to be a conscious being of light here in this world, to understand spirit and how it unfolds and how energy works and how to ask for what you want and how to manifest what you want. The divine light of your own unique energy, the fact that no one else on this planet is like you, and that is a beautiful thing. To also be grateful for nature, right? The earth that we walk on, the air that we breathe, the water that we flow through, the beautiful sky and moon and sun and stars that we get to see every day and every evening. These are all things to be grateful for. Love in our heart, peace in our heart, the ability to think clearly and operate all of our body, and whatever it is for you, there's so many things to be grateful for. And that's just naming things that are connected to us as individuals. Think about all the other people in your life that bring you gratitude and that give you things to be grateful for: support, love, kindness, connection, right? So when we go on those tangents of gratitude, we really also encourage more belief in the beauty and the bliss of spirit and the beauty and the bliss of experience here on this universe. And that can be really helpful to get us through any contrast as well. And it also helps us really understand our connection to spirit, because usually when we start to rattle off all those things that we're grateful for, we start to feel that energy flowing through our body. We start to feel lighter, we start to feel happier, we start to feel even more grateful, even more joyful, even more prepared and confident. And that's so powerful, because then in those moments we realize that we can truly change our energy in an instant just by talking about the things we're grateful for, just by focusing on more positive things. And we literally can feel that transmutation in our body, in our heart, in our mind. And that's a powerful thing. That is alchemy of your own energy. You become an alchemist in that way, and that is so powerful. So I encourage you to do that throughout the rest of the week and throughout the rest of the year as we come to the close of 2019. Now, moving into the next message, it's all about triggers and contrasts. And a lot of people have had a lot of triggers lately. I've been triggered in a couple of ways this week as well. And these triggers come up to remind us that we haven't finished the work that we are meant to finish in those areas. So if we're triggered in impatience, or we're triggered in a connection with someone that we maybe didn't realize we had a trigger on. Maybe somebody says something to us that triggers a memory of a past experience that was very traumatic, or maybe we are in an environment that triggers our emotional body in a way that doesn't feel good. And so we're going to be getting these triggers, and we have been getting these triggers for the purpose of realizing that they're still there and that we still need to improve on them, we still need to work on them. And we work on triggers by really accepting them, seeing them, observing them, and recognizing what the root of that trigger is, and starting to rewire our brain away from the root and into more clarity and release from that root. So giving you an example, saying maybe an environment, right? Maybe somebody had a really horrible experience in a hospital, but then their grandmother's in the hospital and they have to go visit their grandmother, but they go into the hospital and all they can remember is that horrible experience. And so now they're triggered, and they're assuming that that horrible experience is going to happen to their grandmother, even though maybe grandma just had a really easy surgery that wasn't really intrusive. They're still triggered in that state of panic, right? And so by recognizing, okay, where was that state of panic at? What is the root? What was the experience in the past that created this trigger? Observing that, recognizing it, identifying it, and then with that awareness, shining light onto it by reminding yourself, okay, I'm not in that experience anymore. It isn't the past, it is now. We're here right now, and we're not in the same situation. This person isn't going to go through what I went through just because I went through it in the past, and that's all I can think about. I can release this and really stay in the present moment instead of staying attached to the past. Why am I still holding on to the past? Why is that happening? So those are the things you ask yourself in those moments. And you start to get new awareness, new wisdom, new intuition to lead you out of that connection to the past and into more connection to the present, where you can make a new memory and create a new dialogue and create a new experience that no longer has all of that heaviness or pain or drama or trauma that the trigger brought forth. And without that contrast of the trigger and showing up, we wouldn't know that it still needed work. We wouldn't know that it was still there. And we wouldn't know that that's something we're ready to release. And so the triggers can be really helpful if they're addressed and reacted to in the right way. And we're not perfect, we're human. So it's really hard at times to really get a handle on triggers, because some of them are really deep, some of them are really sensitive, some of them are really active in our vibration, and that can be difficult, but it's a process, and we have to be patient with ourselves, and we have to honor our humanity. We have to honor our imperfections and know that we're doing our best, and to be grateful and loving towards ourselves in that process by acknowledging that as soon as we are aware of that trigger, whether it be after we've already played that trigger out, or whether it be right in the middle of it, or even before it happens, we should be proud of the awareness. We should be proud that we're doing the work, that we have the consciousness that most don't, to understand that. I don't know why my nose is itching so bad. I have to look up the energetic significance of nose itching, because it's like crazy. I know that the third eye and the throat chakra, the nose is right in between that. So maybe we're connecting here with some intuitive understanding of how to speak through things, speaking through our triggers, and really speaking to ourselves and communicating that to the people around us, so that they know why we might be acting a certain way, or why we might be more panicked or more upset or more uncomfortable in situations. When we speak those things out, we allow ourselves to really hear it outside of us when we say it, and we recognize how maybe ridiculous the trigger is, or ridiculous the belief system that's the root of the trigger is. And we also become more intuitive of ourselves through that. And we also connect to the other person or the people around us that are experiencing that trigger with us as a result, or as observers of it, of witnesses of it. And so that can also be a really cathartic experience in communicating through that triggers for more intuitive guidance from people around you and from yourself. And just when I said that, my nose like kind of stopped itching. It's like here and there. So sorry guys, I don't mean to be like all up in my face, but it's like super itchy. So that is really important, and also to recognize that through the contrast of triggers and through any contrast and challenge, pressure is applied. And that pressure to change, to create positive transformations, that pressure to look at ourselves, to reflect, that pressure to understand more from the experience than just what's on the surface. And that pressure makes diamonds, right? Pressure makes diamonds, and that's a valuable thing. It's alchemy. Pressure creates something from nothing. It creates a beautiful diamond, a beautiful gem from this kind of less than beautiful experience. And so pressure can really be a helpful thing in our life. And it's important to not look at contrast or triggers in a negative way, but to appreciate the pressure that they're applying on us to change in a positive way, to level up, to evolve. And that can be really empowering, right? So moving on, the next spirit message is about stillness and silence. Shout out to my divine star sister and goddess, Sabina. She is amazing. She's one of my dear friends out here in Arizona, and she just did an event at the place I usually do my events at Abundance Space, on Friday, the day I did my channel and chill. Her event was actually just before mine. And she did a silence and stillness event where we really just meditated in silence and stillness for a couple of hours together as a group, and it was so powerful. It was so necessary. And so I brought this into the weekly reading because I feel like this is an energy that came at the perfect time, and that will help all of us really continue to move forward in our consciousness through this practice. So it gives us inner peace. It gives us a remembering of who we really are, outside of the labels, outside of the roles we play. And I know I talked a little bit about this last week too, so it makes so much sense that we're talking about it here. But we really want to allow ourselves to have moments of silence, have moments of stillness, and to really deliberately do that so that we can connect to our true nature, to connect to our triggerless experience, to connect to our a release from stimulation. In this world, we are so stimulated by everything. It can get really overwhelming. We've always got something to do. We've always got someone to talk to. We've always got noises around us. There's always something pulling at us and something calling for our energy or something we need. And so there's just all this stimulation all over the place, and that can be really overwhelming. So when we sit in silence and stillness and we give ourselves that time to just relax and breathe and be focused on who we are outside of the external, who we are within, what we are within, and just allowing no thoughts, no kind of questions, no distractions, we end up becoming more in tune with Source in such a powerful way. And we also recognize how much we've been stimulated, because we don't realize that until we stop and don't have that stimulation. And then we're like, oh wow, it feels really good to just not have anything to do, not have anything to talk about, and just be silent and still. So I encourage you all to incorporate that into your daily practice. Just take a few moments of stillness and silence. We can even do it here for just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Big breath out. Another deep breath in. Connecting with our inner being as you exhale. Another deep breath in, opening up to connection to Source. Gratitude, love, and exhaling fully. And then let's just sit in silence for just a moment. Noticing how good that feels to just have a little moment of silence. And just bring yourself back out of that whenever you're ready. It just gives us an awareness of how easy it is to get that silence, to get that stillness, and how maybe not easy it is for some of us if our minds are always racing, or if we always have something that we're thinking about or doing. It can be really hard and challenging for us to get that silence or to even sit still. And that just means we need it even more. So I encourage you all to practice that and to sit in silence and play a little game with yourself. How long can you sit in silence? I remember doing this as a kid. How long can you not speak, right? And before the next person speaks, or how long can you stay still without moving, right? Before the next person does. And so that can be a really fun game that you play with yourself. And when you play that game with yourself, you end up having more connection to divine in such a palpable way. And it's really cool. There's a lot of magic in that practice. It helps us also to remember our power and release doubts, fears, and judgments as well, which is so important. Okay, so moving on. Now, this week is also really fun, and I'm going to go into this a little bit more during the astrology update. But we have winter solstice on Saturday, which is really cool. And so that's going to be the official winter connection that we are moving into. We're moving into the energy of winter, which is kind of funny, right? We always think that winter starts a little earlier than it does, because the fall solstice is September 21st. And so we have fall then, and then we move into winter on December 21st. And so we are moving into winter officially this Friday or this Saturday, and that's really exciting. And so it's all about rebirth. It's all about really self-reflection in a lot of ways. And when we think about winter, it's the longest dark hours of the year, and so lots of shadow work with this as well. And shadow work is really the ability to sit with ourselves and to feel comfortable in that, and to love ourselves with all of our imperfections and all of our human moments, and to really honor and accept who we are in our humanity and our imperfect nature as well. And that can be a really big challenge. And a lot of times we end up going through things in our life that kind of start to encourage us to do some of that shadow work right around winter, which is often why some people end up getting a little bit down around the holidays, because the holidays are so fun and celebratory, but they also can be very stressful. They also can bring up a lot of contrast and a lot of shadow work and shadow energy of ourselves showing up and triggers, right? And so that's why we go through that stuff right around here. And it's really to do the last bit of work we need to do for the end of the year to work through those things so that we move into the next year with a lot of refreshing energy and rebirth and renewal. And so the winter solstice is this Saturday. So prepare for some of that. Know that that is going to be something we experience. And maybe you all have already experienced some of that. And that's okay. It's important to appreciate that too, to appreciate the rebirth, to appreciate the awareness of shadow, to appreciate the awareness of contrast as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in the astrology. And then the next one is about honoring the light of your being. Don't pinch yourself off from the light of your being. This is incredibly important. We are all divine light. And because we are all divine light, we are so encouraged and inspired to understand ourselves. And that is really the light of awareness, this natural urge to understand the world and to understand ourselves. And that really is evidence of our light within. And we are extensions of source, which is divine light. And so we really want to honor that and know that we have so much light within us to absolutely overcome any darkness outside of us, any dark days. We have enough light within us, and we are a miracle. Think about the fact that we were once just a little blob of cells that didn't even have a consciousness yet, that didn't even have limbs or organs formed yet. And then now we're these people with arms and legs and minds and bodies that are moving every day throughout the universe and doing things that seem impossible when you think about it from just a little blob of cells, right? And so we are a miracle. We're walking, talking, breathing miracles already. And so it's important to acknowledge that. And when we acknowledge that, we recognize that we can trust that miracles exist. We can trust that miracles are real because we are one. We are a miracle. And so when you think about it that way, it becomes much easier to also trust in the miracles that you're asking for, that are coming your way, whatever those mean to you, whether they're miracles in abundance or miracles in love or miracles in family and connection or health, right? Or stability and security. So call on your higher power, call on source, call on your higher self for the miracles. And also make sure that you believe in miracles through understanding that you yourself are a miracle. And that brings in that belief, which is the fuel for motivation, the blind faith in that, right? And that is so powerful. So don't pinch yourself off from the miracles that are coming your way or from the miracles you've asked for by not believing in them. Make sure that you believe in the miracles by just believing in yourself, you as a miracle. And that's a powerful, powerful way of looking at it as well. All right, the next one is about manifestation. Manifestation is so potent right now, and it's potent in a lot of different ways, not just for manifesting what we want, but also manifesting what we don't want. And it's through the awareness and the focus that we're putting on things. So if you're focusing a lot on what you don't want or what you're afraid that will happen or the worst case scenario, then you are most likely going to start seeing evidence of that worst case scenario starting to play out or letting you know that it will manifest if you keep focusing on that. And so it's important to switch your thoughts, switch your emotions on things, switch your perspectives, and make sure that you're focusing on the positive. Make sure you're focusing on what you want to create in your life and what you want to see in your life and in your experiences so that you can manifest those, because manifestation is happening like that right now. I don't know if you guys have been feeling that like I have, but I have been seeing it in other people's lives and I've been seeing it in my own. And so it's really important to be very specific about what you want and to really be mindful about what you are working on manifesting and what you're trying to manifest, because it will happen. So you want to make sure that you're manifesting appropriately and consciously and mindfully. I think that also really got amplified with the 12-12 portal and the full moon energy. And that 12-12 portal kind of pushed a couple of people around. It kind of slapped us around a little bit. That first day on Thursday, some people are feeling a little down and kind of drained from that. But it was really because it was such a powerful energy, and it was showing us what we need to see and what we need to work on still. And that's a positive transformation, but it's an intense one. So our manifestation and our conscious creative power is going to help us redesign what we want in a very specific way. So trust in that miraculous manifestation, trust in that miraculous transformation, trust in the manifestation of what you focus on is real and will be created, and keep making sure that you're deliberate with that. Okay, so those are all the spirit messages for this week. I'm going to do my usual little segment where I go through each aspect of your life and feel into a word. I didn't write my words down today, so I'm just going to freestyle it today. So just breathing here for love life. Love life is a sense of freedom. There's a lot of liberation coming in love in a lot of different ways. Liberation from doubts, liberation from fears, judgments, even liberation from certain relationships. So focus on liberation in love, freedom in love, and what that looks like and what that feels like for you. That's a big energy coming up for this week. As far as work goes, work is all about concentration. This ability of really being able to focus and concentrate, stay consistent and in tune and aware of what you're doing in every moment at work. Really concentrating on what you want in your work environment for manifestation. Concentrating on what you're doing to create that. Concentrating on why you're doing what you do at work and why it's so important. That concentration is going to bring you new wisdom and new intuition and new abundance as well. Then in family is about being bold. You're going to see a lot of bold energy in family this week, whether that be boldness in a abruptive way or assertive way, or boldness in a powerful, profound, expansive way. And so really just allowing yourself to observe the boldness that shows up in your family, and also allowing you to be bold in who you are with your family and who you are in your life in reference to your family. That's going to be a powerful way of standing your ground in your own unique energy and being proud and confident of who you are, and also appreciating the pride and confidence in who your family members are and how they present themselves as well, and finding an appreciation for both. And then for spiritual growth, I feel the word transmutation. Transmutation, our ability to take one thing of lesser value and transform it, transmute it into something of higher value. This can be lower vibrations transmuted into higher vibrations. It can be contrast and triggers transmuted into blessings and wisdom and accomplishment. So whatever that sounds like and feels like to you, transmutation in your spiritual growth is huge right now. And we're going to feel a lot of that happening this week. Okay, so those are the spirit messages. Let's go ahead and get into astrology, and let me know how all of you are feeling. I see some comments. Phil says mostly higher self. Yes, love that. Oh, and Linda said, where did you get the cacao? There was a market at my space that I do events at Abundance Space. And there's a beautiful woman, Carla, there who's selling this cacao from Guatemala. She brings it straight from Guatemala. And all of her products are made by Guatemalan women to help support their families. So it's really beautiful. And it smells like so good. Oh my gosh. So I'll see if I can get you guys linked with her if you're interested. So if you are, feel free to let me know in the comments, and then I'll put her information down there if I can, if she's able to ship things out and such. But yeah, it's really powerful. All right, so let's go into the astrology messages of this week. Not too many to cover today, but there are some. The first astrological influence of this week is on the 19th. That's Thursday. And it's really going to offer a lot more mindfulness for ourselves, a lot more intellect, and a lot more focus on the mind, but in a higher self version or a higher awareness version of that. And Mars is sextiling Saturn that day, so we're going to be learning some lessons. We're going to be kind of understanding more about ourselves through that. We're going to be acting upon our responsibilities more positively. We're going to be manifesting more through action. We're going to be more dedicated, more mature, and more mentally stimulated on Thursday with that Mars sextiling Saturn. So that's going to be a powerful energy. And then I don't know what day Chiron is direct. Oh, you said, Phil, never mind. You said today Chiron is direct. So thank you for that, Phil. So when we talk about Chiron, I'll get into that real quick. Chiron is the healing planet, the wounded healing, the wounded healer, or the wounded warrior. And so it's about really empowering us in our healing path. And so when Chiron goes direct, it helps us heal. When it's in retrograde, it kind of shows us what we need to heal and what we need to be more focused on for healing. So we have been feeling that as well recently, recognizing the triggers, recognizing the contrast. And that's why that was so important to observe. And then when Chiron goes direct, we start to get more energy, more momentum, more wisdom, more intuition to help us heal in the ways that we realize we needed to heal. And it's through contrast that we realize we need to heal. And then it's through this consciousness that shows us how to heal. And so that's where we're at with Chiron going direct today. And so we're going to feel more methods of healing, and we're going to feel more inspiration and intuition for our healing as well. And then I'm bouncing around just a little bit because I wanted to talk about Chiron. But going back to Thursday, the 19th, with more of that mindfulness, Mars sextiling Saturn, we also have Mercury squaring Neptune on Thursday. That's going to really encourage us to be patient in communication. Mercury is all about communication, commitments, relationships. Neptune is all about kind of patience and a slow movement and mindfulness and higher mind perspective. And spiritual perspective as well. So patience and communication is huge. Patience and commitments, patience and relationships is huge on Thursday as well. Keep conversations simple and easy and mindful for Thursday with that Mercury square Neptune. And then on Saturday, again, like I said, the winter solstice is on Saturday. So that's all about rebirth, regeneration, renewal, self-reflection. These are the longest hours of darkness in winter. And so we're going to feel some more of that shadow work showing up to show us what we need to work on, what we need to let go of, what we need to love about ourselves, what we need to forgive ourselves for, what we need to face within ourselves to give us more wisdom and abundance in consciousness and enlightenment. And so that winter solstice is going to be really important. And I always encourage to do a little work, a little ritual, whether you just write down things that you're ready to let go of, or things that you really want to accept more for yourself, and things that you want to look at more positively. And words of encouragement can also be a really great part of a ritual for winter solstice as well. And really internal reflection in any way that you feel inspired to for winter solstice, and that's on Saturday, okay? And then on Sunday, 12/22, powerful day, another 2 day. There's just so many twos. We've got the 12, of course, we talked about the 12, the power of 12 with that portal last week. Faith, purpose, promise, productivity, and passion. And then 22 is a master number. It's really about peace as well. And there's peaceful unity amongst duality, peaceful new beginnings with this Sunday, being that Venus is squaring Uranus. So we're going to feel changes and new beginnings in intimate relationships, family relationships, home. We may feel some unexpected shifts with that. It's important for us to release drama and embrace creativity on that day, on Sunday, and to really feel into the new actions that we're inspired to take to bring in new light and new beginnings of peace for our lives. It's also important not to resist change, because we have that Uranus energy with Venus, so don't resist change in love or family or home. Also, don't resist change in abundance. Venus also covers abundance to some degree. So that's going to be a really powerful day. So it's going to be important for you to reflect some, take some time alone on Sunday, next Sunday, and just feel into noticing the shifts and observing the shifts that are showing up for you. Mars sextiles Pluto on that day as well, which is all about that action, actions for new beginnings, action oriented for completion of old cycles and reset of new energy. And there's also going to be a sensuality to that energy as well, of wisdom and connection and harmony as well. So that's going to be a really powerful astrological day also. So those are the astrological influences of this week. That's all I have for you there. I want to take this time to pull some cards for this week to get a even more full read and summary of all of this energy, and to just remind you again that you are a miracle. So whatever you're going through, whatever experience you want to create, you are able to create it through you as a vessel and connection of source and extension of source. So really feel into that, because that's going to be a really important mantra for you to remember throughout this week and whatever you go through. All right, so let's take a couple of seconds just to close our eyes and take some time in silence and stillness as we deep breath in, exhale to relax, preparing for cards with another deep breath in, exhale to relax, feeling the serenity of this experience with one more deep breath in, opening up to all the card messages for this week. And big breath out to relax fully. Another download I just received in that is also to honor the natural flow of your creativity, honor the natural flow of your productivity. Honor yourself and know that there are cycles occurring within us that are inspiring us to move when we are meant to move in divine timing and divine order, and inspiring us to stay still when we're not meant to move yet. And so honoring that as well, and flowing with that unique energy of creation that you have, that you possess. All right, let's see what the beginning of the week card is. Popped right up, pretty easy for us there. Thank you, cards. I want to do a Goddess Isis card because I haven't done that in a while. And I'm also going to do a Voyager card because I haven't done that in a while. They're calling to be played with. All right, Goddess Isis card in the middle of the week. Actually, I'm going to do that one in the end of the week, she says, because the winter solstice also honors goddess moon energy as a part of its connection. And the winter solstice, like I said, is on Saturday. And the moon energy is all about intuition and self-nurturance and nurturance of others. So it's about self-love too. So we'll pull that in a second. This will be the middle of the week card from the Voyager deck. There it is. All right. And then, like I said, the end of the week from Goddess Isis, Moon Goddess. Whoa. Those ones fell out in a chunk, so I put them back because I wasn't sure if those were the right ones. There we go. That one popped up. Okay. Beautiful. Beginning of the week card, Intention. And this is the Archangel Sandalphon with this beautiful solar plexus and creative energy. And this is really really encouraging and activating our awareness of how powerful our intentions to succeed, our intentions to manifest certain things, our intentions for growth are so powerful, and how they're so specific and so manifestation oriented. When we set an intention, we really bring it into our reality. We really create it through our soul power, through ourselves as extension from source. So make your intentions specific. Reflect on your intentions. Believe in them. Believe that they will happen, that they will manifest, and allow that to be your focus for the beginning of the week as we move forward in this potent manifestation time. So make sure your intentions are pure as well. Pure meaning they are morally sound, that they're not intentions to bring harm or hurt to people, or to put you over someone else, or to make you, powerful over someone else's free will or anything like that, because those intentions will not manifest easily because they're not serving us and they're not serving others. So make sure that your intentions are pure, the purest of intentions, free of ego, free of a need to overpower people, will really create more positivity in your life as well. So that's important too. I'm not sure why that part of it came up, but Spirit was telling me to speak on that. So beginning of the week intentions, okay? Love this card. Next card, so awesome. The middle of the week is the Sage of Worlds, Master. And really encourage us to recognize what we are mastering, what we want to master within ourselves, and what we want to master in our lives. And mastership is this really strong initiation to enlightenment, the ability to really feel in control of our creative essence, to feel completely evolved in our power, our soul power, and to feel like we can really navigate any circumstance we experience in a positive, loving, and mindful way. And so we're going to feel a lot of that this middle of the week, and we're going to be encouraged to step into our mastery in the middle of the week, which is also a lot of fine-tuning. When we get into mastership, we start fine-tuning all of the little things that we think doesn't really matter, or the little corners that we cut that we think is okay. Spirit starts to say, no cutting corners, no ignoring these little things. These little things are important too. In fact, they might be the most important. So let's fine tune your vibration. Let's fine tune your perspectives. Let's fine tune your manifestation power so that you can become a master of it. So that's really important as well. And that's kind of where some of those triggers come up in contrast to show us what we need to master, what we need to fine tune within ourselves to bring us more light. And then end of the week card, I think this is so perfect and so beautiful. Miracle of Isis is this card, and look at the picture. How beautiful is that? Divine feminine, divine masculine, really, really strong. The card itself says, Isis offers a miracle healing. Isn't that funny? Chiron going direct today as the healer. We were just talking about you are a miracle, and then we pull this card, Miracle of Isis, for the end of the week. And that's also where the winter solstice is for that rebirth and transformation. So again, this card says, Isis offers a miracle healing. No matter how much you have struggled with a particular matter, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without this old wound, addiction, problem, relationship, issue, or inner struggle being a part of it, you are guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing. Let go and let the goddess be. Wow, how powerful is that? So again, I love this part where it says, no matter how impossible it may seem to imagine your life without an old wound, addiction, problem, relationship issue, or inner struggle, you are guided now to accept the possibility of miraculous healing. So accept it. Accept the possibility of miraculous healing because you are already a miracle. And when we accept that healing, we become that healing. And it is a powerful transformation of energy, it is a powerful transmutation of energy, and it's a powerful connection to source. So again, beginning of the week intention, middle of the week master, end of the week miracle of Isis. So cool. So really tap into that, and I encourage you to rewatch these readings throughout the week as you experience life, because sometimes we forget about these messages and then we really need them towards the middle of the week when we're trying to master things, or towards the end of the week when we really need that miracle and we need that validation that it's real. A couple of announcements that I have today. Also, I am doing a end of the year reading special. I am going to be offering $65 readings. Now, these are specific readings. These readings are going to be for the first 6 months of your year 2020. And so I'm going to pull a card for every month of your year in 2020. And it's going to be very similar to the kind of general card pull that I do every first of the year for the full year in review. But for you, it's going to be personal. We're going to do a reading where we're going to talk about what to expect for the next 6 months or the first 6 months of 2020, and only $65 to do that. And I'm going to be tapping in with my own intuition and connecting with your higher selves and spirit guides to get any information on how to move into your new year, how to follow through with the energy of that you are to. I got a call and I had to close it out. So yeah, so that's my special for the end of the year. So from now until the end of the year, until January, until December 31st, I'm going to offer these year readings, these first 6 months of the year. So $65 only to connect with me. It'll be about a 30 to 45 minute reading, and I'll be able to connect with you and pull a card for each month, the first 6 months. I'm only doing the first 6 months because having a full year in review on a personal level can be really overwhelming, and you might not get everything that you really need to get and process it all. So it's better to just do the first 6 months, and then we can do another one around June, another special in this way. So if you're interested in getting a $65 first half of the year reading and review from me, definitely message me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com or at readingsbyrissa on Instagram. A lot of times when I do these reading offers, I only offer it to you guys on YouTube because you are my loyal subscribers. You are the ones that show up all the time, and so I really like to offer you these deals first. So I haven't offered this on Instagram or Facebook or anything yet. I might do that throughout the week. I'm not sure. And my schedule is limited, so make sure that if you really want that reading before the new year hits and to take advantage of that deal, to message me right away so we can get it scheduled. So again, $65 half year readings for 2020. First 6 months of your 2020 year will be in review with cards and intuition from me. And then also, for all of the other readings that I do general readings over work, love, family life, spiritual growth. I'll also include some prep for 2020 in those if you want a bigger reading with more energy and more kind of explanation for where you're at now and moving into. We can do that as well. Regular price for my general readings. And then of course I have my specialty readings as well: past life, energy cleansing, cosmic connection readings, mediumship. Those will all be regularly priced. But if you haven't had a reading with me before, you'll naturally get $10 off your first reading for those ones. Not for the $65 special because that's already on special, but you have options there, okay? So you can get the $65 card pull and intuitive reading for the first 6 months of your 2020 year. You can get a general reading to give you an even more bigger perspective of where you're at now and how you move forward, and any of the specialty readings, okay? So I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And also please tap into my divine amazing enchantment workshop retreat. I'm losing my train of thought for some reason. I'm a little distracted. Somebody just called me and I'm like, why did they call during this reading? So I'm going to Belize again, April 2020, and I have sent out all of the personal emails to those of you who have requested the information before anyone else. I offered that quite a few times right when I got back from my last retreat in Belize in October. Anybody who wanted to sign up for receiving the information first could send me their email, and they all got their emails and all their information. So there's already people signing up for this retreat, and I'm only taking 12 guests. So we still have plenty of seats available right now, plenty of spots available. But I really encourage you, if you're interested in coming to Belize with me for the Ethical Witches and Wizardry Retreat in Belize in April 2020, then please email me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, or message me on Instagram at readingsbyrissa so that you can get all the information to sign up for this retreat. I'm going to be announcing it fully to the public with all of the details and flyers and promotional content. So if you really want to get ahead of it, message me now before I put it out to the public, because once I put it out to the public, everybody's fair game and it's a race to the finish line, whoever gets those spots first. But we have plenty of spots available. So if you're interested, please reach out. The best thing about this retreat is that you only have to put down a 25% deposit to solidify your spot, and then you have to just pay the rest of your package fee at least 8 days before the April 2020 retreat. And the dates are April 18th to April 24th. So you just have to pay the rest of it by April 10th in order to come to the retreat. So at least get your deposits in so that you can sign up and fill your spot and solidify your spot and lock it in. And then, you'll have time to finish out the payments and everything. And then you can say, yes, I'm coming to this Ethical Witches and Wizardry Retreat. And we're going to be forging our own magic tools. We're going to be making our own magic wands, pentacles. We're going to have a beautiful magic circle that we're going to be doing ethical spells with. And we're going to be talking about what it means to do ethical spells and how important it is to deconstruct the stigma of darkness around magic. That is all based on intention. And if you have dark intentions with magic, of course it's going to be a dark energy. But we're not doing that at this retreat. We're doing all love and light and nature and connection to to the ancient Mayans and the ancestral wisdom of love and light and expansion and magic and enchantment to create what we desire for the betterment of the world and betterment of ourselves as well. And so it's going to be a really powerful experience and really, really important work that we're going to be doing, to where we will come back feeling our full witch or wizardry energy, ready for us to alchemize the rest of 2020. So it's going to be great. So I love you so much. I'm also doing my coaching program, one-on-one coaching with me, to develop your intuition fully and to learn all about intuition and what it is, what it does, how to use it, how to experience more of it, what the universe reflects in intuition to us and in energy awareness. So if you're interested in the one-on-one coaching program, I'll also put a link to sign up for your free consultation call to pick which of your coaching program options are most in alignment for you, so we can start that one-on-one coaching and you can feel a complete expansion of your intuitive gifts as you travel through 2020. My dog Geo is in agreement with that, and I am so blessed to be here for you guys in any way I can. So please reach out if you need me for anything at all. I love you so much. I'll be also posting the Maria of Maya channel that I did at the last retreat, the Thinning of the Veil retreat. There's a beautiful ancient Mayan spirit medicine woman on the grounds of the retreat space that I held the last retreat at, that I'm also holding the retreat at in April. And she's powerful. And so I'm going to be posting that this week, now that I can officially put the retreat information in the description of that channel and share it with the public. So I'll be doing that as well. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep an eye out for that channel. Keep an eye out for just more events from me and more news on my page on Instagram at Readings by Rissa as well. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you next Sunday, 1:11 p.m. Central Time. Peace.